What's up, everybody? It's me, Crosspatch. Welcome back to my Madden 22 Pittsburgh Steelers franchise and a brand new season of Steelers football. And the point of this video is to showcase our new roster going into the 2023 season. And a lot of new faces on the team. Had to say goodbye to some old favorites, unfortunately, as well. But we will get to that in a moment. First, here is a quick recap of the 2022 season. Finished the year 15-2, number one seed in the AFC, and beat the Raiders and the Bengals in the playoffs. And then, as you can see, we took on the Panthers in the Super Bowl and brought the seventh Lombardi Trophy home to the Steel City. Mitchell Trubisky was the NFL MVP, as well as the AFC Offensive Player of the Year. And somehow managed to be Super Bowl MVP as well, which, if you watch the game, doesn't quite make sense. He had a okay game, certainly not up to his standards throughout the season. But Najee Harris really was the star of that game. 188 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. He should have been the Super Bowl MVP, but whatever. Moving on to the 2023 Pittsburgh Steelers. Had a decent draft, I would say. Missed on a few guys I was hoping to get, but also a little bit pleasantly surprised by some of the guys we scrounged up here. So I'll try not to make this too long here. I tend to ramble on about these guys, so we'll go as quick as I can manage here. Mitchell Trubisky is back. He's a superstar. You can see his ratings here. Not bad. Definitely getting better as we've been using him. But still only a 73 overall. And, had we been running a franchise that's going to go on for seasons and seasons, the question would be, when do we draft a quarterback? And cut ties with Mitch here. And, I would like to think he could be the guy, but at 73 overall, we would probably want to be thinking about that. He doesn't have a lot of a ceiling. He's going to start regressing. He's coming up on 30. So, but we don't have that problem because Madden 23 comes out in like a couple of months. So, Trubisky is probably going to be our guy going forward for the rest of this franchise. And we'll see how he does in real life. Who knows? Maybe he will be, have a career resurgence like he did in this franchise. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And we said goodbye to Mason Rudolph, and I brought this guy in as a backup. He's a second-year guy. Was on a practice squad last year, and he's another one who, if we had the time, would be kind of a fun project to try to build him into a superstar with that 94 throwing power. But we do not have that time, so hopefully he can be a passable backup if we need him to be. Should something happen to Trubisky. Halfback, Najee Harris, once again, really just took control of the playoffs. Probably had 400-plus yards in those 3 playoff games. And coming along well. I'm trying to get him up to Superstar X Factor. But, I don't know. That doesn't always matter all that much, But he's a tough back to bring down. He's an every down back. And, he's going to continue being our guy. Got rid of Benny Snell just because of, didn't get rid of him when his contract was up. We didn't re-sign him. Just for financial reasons, I would have really liked to have kept him. But Anthony Farland's going to step up as the backup. And we brought in a third guy here just to have another back that is a power back, sort of similar to Harris, who will maybe develop a little bit. Brought Derek Watt back. I kind of said I wasn't going to, but financially we could manage it. So he is going to be our fullback when we need him, as well as our number 3 tight end. And our receiving room, our wide receiver room, stayed the same, no changes. Deontay Johnson is a Superstar X Factor, up to 93 speed. Claypool, only star development still. I really need to do better getting him the ball throughout the season. He should have been up to Superstar by now, and that's my fault. we'll try to do better by him. Miles Boykin comes back as our number 3. Gunnar Olszewski, not only a decent receiver if we need him to be, but a really good kick returner. And Cody White kind of rounds it out. Decent special teams player. Freiermuth's back as our starting tight end. He is up to 81 speed, which is a little bit better than he was. But again, a little bit too slow. But we're making do with him. He's playing all right. And I brought in this guy who's a bit faster, KASEEM Glover. He's kind of a work in progress, but we'll see if we can use him in some of those deeper situations that I'm not getting the ball to Freiermuth on. At left tackle, our number 1 draft pick, Justice Ford. That's a pretty good name. Hidden depth trait, we'll see what that ends up being. And, yeah, a little low on his ratings, but we really struggled at left tackle last season. And I'm hoping that to develop him into somebody quite a bit better than the guys we had playing there. So we will see how that goes. 76 speed. I thought about moving him to guard because of that. But, we really need somebody at that left tackle spot. So hopefully he can be the guy. Kevin Dotson returns at left guard. Kendrick Green is going to be our starting center. Mason Cole will back him up. James Daniels returns. James Daniels is our best offensive lineman. Star development. Returns at right guard. And the right tackle position, there's going to be a little bit of a battle for that between Okorafor and Dan Moore. Dan Moore's a player I had a lot of hope for, but didn't really develop the way I'd like him to. So we'll see between these guys. By midseason, hopefully we'll have a clear starter so we can be ready for the playoffs. Stephon Tuitt is back. Retired in real life. But this is a video game, so we have him still. And happy that he's still in this game. Wish him the best of luck in real life with whatever's next for him. Cam Hayward is still here. 34 years old, but still pretty darn good as a defensive end. Superstar X Factor. One of our best players on our defense for sure. Defensive tackle. We lost Tyson Alualu, who chose to retire. So we brought a couple of guys in here. Trey Agnew is going to be our starter. Just normal development. Maybe the weak spot for our team this season. But hopefully he will develop a little bit. And Jordan Young behind him here. Yeah, I don't know. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, we play a lot of nickel anyway, but we'll see. TJ Watt returns. 99 overall with the temporary boost. And a little light on the sacks last season. Hopefully we can do a little better with him this year. Miles Jack returns at inside linebacker. And Devin Bush is back as well. We got a lot of contracts up this season that we're going to have to be dealing with. So one of the reasons I kind of cleared out, if you notice, and especially when we get to cornerback, you'll see, really cleared out a lot of the backups. Like if you were not a starter, your job was, you probably weren't coming back on this roster. Alex Highsmith returns. Joe Coffey's a player, kind of an all-around linebacker. He's a middle linebacker, but we got him listed as an outside linebacker right now. He's got some good speed. I don't know. I mean, talking about Highsmith, is he a long-term solution at outside linebacker? Again, with the short duration of this franchise, he's probably just going to be the guy, but probably be looking at somebody to challenge him if we were going to run this franchise for a longer period. Cornerback had a major overhaul here. Levi Wallace and Akello Weatherspoon return as the starters, but I brought in, all these guys are rookies, except for Mullet. So we brought in Brandon Knight. He's ready to play. Only a normal dev trait. but and a little slower than I would like. I was trying to get a guy who ended up having 95 speed. I tried to trade up in the draft to get him, but I just wasn't willing to give up what I had to give up. So we ended up with Brandon Knight, and maybe he gets a couple of speed boosts through progression, but otherwise the rest of his numbers are pretty decent for a rookie. So pretty happy that we ended up with him, to be honest. Um, Miles Green, 93 speed. Another one in development. Luke Pettis. So all these guys are just, you know, the what I like to do with the filling out my roster is I go to the free agents in the preseason and I start looking for just physical guys, guys who have good physical traits, who are rookies and eligible for the practice squad. And if I have the room, I'll just load up my roster with these guys. So that's what happened to corner here. We've got two legit corners. We've got another guy who hopefully is ready for prime time. And then we've got a bunch of guys, 3 guys in development here. So we will see how that goes for them. Minka Fitzpatrick back at free safety. Terrell Edmonds returns at strong safety. Chris Boswell, I did not resign, but then I picked him up as a free agent, so we've got him back. And Presley Harvin III is back as our punter. So that is our roster, and not a lot of depth. I would definitely sacrifice depth compared to last season, but hopefully we don't need it. I think the positions that matter, we have the depth at. Like if we have an offensive lineman go down, we have some guys that can fill in. Our receiving core is pretty strong. So I think we'll be all right. And so some goals for this season, for me personally, get better at defense, especially clicking on to defensive backs when the ball is in the air. That is something I want to improve at. And the other thing is just be smarter. Make better decisions. Maybe not be as risky with the football. But, yeah. So that is that. That's our new roster. Let me know any thoughts you have in the comments. And we will have our first game coming up, I think, against Cleveland. Nope, against Cincinnati. Coming up pretty soon. And that will be on the channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Hit that like button. Hit all the buttons. And whatever you do, I hope you have a great day. And I will see you on opening weekend against the Cincinnati Bengals.